What's up, guys? Ninja on Ninja, and basically, oh shit, I should pull that up. Well, basically, there's a video that I want to respond to. Um, that works
One of
perfect.
the things that you see
So check this out. Check this out.
One of the things that you see in pathological families is that parents who've made a hash of their own life become jealous of the unblemished possibilities and opportunities that lay themselves out in front of their children, and instead of encouraging their development in the world, start to regard the fact that they haven't been corrupted yet by laziness and spite. They start to regard the contrast between that childhood potentiality and their own wasted and pathological lives as unbearable, and to reduce the contrast, instead of straightening the hell up so that they're not embarrassed in front of their children, they discourage their children from moving forward and encourage pathologies in them so that the competitive stress is lessened. One of the tropes in teenage movies is the mom who tries too hard to be cool, let's say, to pretend that she's still young, instead of stepping back and letting the young women have their moment. One of the things that you see in pathological
The fuck?
families is that parents
Oh my
who've
god.
made a hash of
Thank you. Okay, so I had left a comment which said, yeah, that's why what my mom did and why I won't say, but yep, would have that happened to me. But it's worse. I had a shitty older brother who did bad shit that was taken out on me as if I did it, even though I did nothing to do it. It's why I invented the asshole test, basically. Now I posted that as a comment. I got a response.
one of the
I
things that
got
you
a response to that comment, and that response was, "Please explain the test." And so I responded to that with a response, and I said, "I'm going to be making videos. I'm going to be making videos about it, please, because it's more complicated than you think at first hand, basically." And so I made one video. I'm making the second one now. And basically, the asshole test, all it really is, let me do this real quick. All the asshole test really is, when you're like talking to a kid, and then the kid asks why, like the sun is, it looks, or burns in the sky, and they're like, why? Well, it's because it's, ball gas is burning miles away and the sun hits the earth. Well, why? Well, it hits the earth because that sun is heated. Why? Well, and so it just goes on forever, right? So you get the idea. So hopefully you understand that why kid, okay? And now the asshole test comes in. And simply, and this only works on kids, by the way. The reason why is because, like most psychology, a psychological test will only work if the person isn't aware or knows about it, or they know the answer because I know what the test is what you're asking. So it's like trying to do a magic trick to somebody who knows the magic trick. You know what I'm saying? So this test only works with kids, kind of reverse psychology, and they would do reverse psychology. Whereas today they have, it's basically what they do is Pavlov, basically. And with that, if you don't know, it's basically the dog, the steak, and the bell, and then you ring a bell when you prevent the steak to a dog, and the dog drools, right? And you do that about 1,000 times, and then one day you ring the bell, the dog's there, you ring the bell, and he drools, but there's no steak. That's the test. Like, it's to get the drool with no reward. It's a bell whistle. It's a fucking ding a ding ding, right? But if you know what the fuck's going on, it won't work. So, anyways, the asshole test. Again, if they know, then it doesn't work. But again, it works on kids. The reverse psychology. So, basically, that kid's asking why. What you do is you ask him, and he's like, the test or the son does this, and the kid asks why. Then you ask the kid, Why? Basically, that's it. Why? And the kid will say one of two things. I don't know. Basically, just completely disengage. Asshole. You know it right then and there. Boom. Asshole. He's an asshole. He's doing it just to piss you off. You immediately know that kid's an asshole. You immediately know who he is, what he is, and why he's doing it. And again, if they're old, they don't know. Or if they're older and they've seen this, then it won't work anymore. And they know, like, you know what I'm saying? But there are kids like myself, for example, and you'd be like, why? And the kid would be like, well, if the sun is heating up and the sun hits the earth and the earth heats up, you know what I'm saying? And he's actually following you and understands you. You have a smart kid, basically. That was me growing up, but my mom thought I was an asshole. So when she would say, do this, and I'd be like, well, why do I do that? She's like, sit down, you know. And so, like, I was trying to reason, like, why do I have to do it? Like explain to me so I know what you're talking about. I just want to know, right? I'm just curious. I'm smart. I'm Einstein. I'm, you know, like these smart people back then. Like, imagine if they met group with Hitler, they probably wouldn't be who they might be who they are because of Hitler. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not like schools where they crush that part of you out of you. Like in school, like I was, I think, 7 years old, and I talked to my teacher. We're explaining, or she was explaining division, basically, and she said, "Oh, well, you do this divided by this, and then you get this with the remainder of this, right?" So I was like, why is there a remainder? And she's like, oh, don't worry about that. I'm like, I'm just curious because I was a smart kid. So I was ready to move on. The class wasn't, but I was. So instead of rewarding me, like, oh, you should go to a special class for gifted children, they put me in a class with retards. Essentially, you know what I'm saying? So I had to grow up with this bullshit. Instead of the gifted class, I was put in a retarded class, basically. And that's what happened to me, basically, growing up. Fortunately, I got lucky as a kid as well because my mom actually, despite being a psycho that wanted me dead half the time, she also loved me. She had bipolar, right? She was bipolar. But anyways, so in high school, there was this class called Success, basically. And in Success, we had a motto, basically, and it was just like a class for lazy, smart people. And that's basically what it was. Like, there's a bunch of smart people who just didn't do the work, and it's not that we couldn't do the work. It's just we wanted to know why, and no one would tell us why. So we're like, fuck off, fuck you then. We all had different reasons, but that's basically what it came down to. It's like, well, fuck me, well, fuck you. You know, at the end of the day, that's what it came down to, right? So that's what it was. And thankfully, I met a teacher there that told me, she was like, well, okay, so you don't agree with math for this reason. That's fine. I understand you, but all they're trying to do, and she talked to me, she told me her name was Taz. She told me, she said, all they're trying to do is just make sure you know what you're talking about. That's all they, like, even if it's like a language, just learn it. And even if you don't use it again, they just want you to know that you can. The same thing for everything, the same thing for everything, right? And there's another class teacher, Amy, right? And one day I went to class and I was fucking stoned out of my mind. One of my friends, Joe, gave me a cookie and I ate it and it tasted weird, kind of funky. And like, you know what it is, right? You know what it is, right? I'm like, oh yeah, it's a cookie. Yeah, I get it. I didn't know that it was fucking stoner cookie, right? It was a weed cookie. It's fucking packed, right? So I'm in fucking zero period. I'm fucking, just fucking hella fucking high, right? And my teacher, Amy, comes up. And she's like, what's going on, Ben? I was looking like, and she's like, oh, I see. And instead, she's like, what the fuck? You know, instead of that whole bullshit, she's like, put your head down, you're fine. And so she continued teaching the class because she knew who I was. She actually taught me like an adult, like treated me like an adult. And I graduated class. Instead of being punished, basically, she's seen me and she gave me her hand. She's like, just keep your head down. Today you're fine. Like, for whatever reason you did it, everyone gets one, by the way. That's personally for me. Everyone gets one, right? I made all these things built up to why I am that way, but that's what it is. Everyone gets one. If I show up the next day, they fucked up. She probably like, Ben, something's wrong. Well, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? But I didn't show up stoned again, basically, and that she knew. Like that's really irregular. Chances are you're off today. It's fine. We'll see the next day. I was like, I was up. I was like, hey, you know what's up? You know, just whatever. But yeah. So that happened. I graduated. But yeah, just know because you know. That's it. Just know because you know. Just they want to make sure you know, and that's all we're testing you just to know if you know what you're talking about. That's it. And if you never use it again, that's fine. Just to prove that you can. So I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. So I was like, fine, I'll do that. That's fine. And sure enough, and then the same thing came down. Like you had to learn all 50 states. I learned all 50 states and remembered all 50 states and passed a test like in like 2 weeks. I think I don't remember how long we had, but I crammed and I remembered, but I passed. Like you had to know all 40. Like I get 45 out of 50. At the time, I got like 48 or 49. I think I got them all. I don't remember. But that was the test. I passed the test. California, Nevada, Washington, all this class. I knew. I don't know fucking 30 of them today. I don't know the names. 20 of them, 10. I don't remember. Right. But the fact was they actually connected to me. They actually talked to me. They actually, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I am who I am today. Instead of being locked up or in prison, it's just I had an adult, and fortunately I had the right people, and it worked out. So I'm thankful to my mother for being there for me, you know, in those instances. But at the same time, like, what was it? The final thing I'll say before I go is I'm getting ready to leave to go to work on my motorcycle or just to take off for the day on my motorcycle. I'm like, I'm taking these, mom. I'll take it off pretty soon. She's like, okay, love you, blah, blah, right? And then so I'm like, all right, I'm here, mom. Take care. And she's like, oh, you fucking die, you fucking asshole, or something like that. I'm like, I love you too, mom, and just peace. That was just every day for me. I'm like, I love you too, mom, peace. And I just left, and I went on with my life. Right, I got home. Hi, son, dinner's on the table. I'm like, cool. You know, that's what it was. That's how it was. So, anyways, yeah. Um, I'm be well, be happy, safe, be strong, be intelligent, be a thinker, right? It's fine to be educated, but be a thinker. Know what you're thinking about, know what you're trying about, know what you're learning, know what you're understanding. Don't become a fucking Nazi, don't become a fucking a Jew hater, don't become a racist. Race is a lie, math is a lie, language is a man-made. It's like time. It's man-made. It's an illusion. It's a measurement we use, like dimensions. Like there's no such thing as a first, second, third dimension. That's a man-made contraption, and you can say that the fourth dimension as long as you know you're playing pretend. But to act like there actually is a fourth dimension, you're fucking psycho. You fucking bitch. Like come on now, you're talking to imaginary people at that point. But that's basically what it is. But anyways, be well, be happy, be safe. God bless. God, yeah, stuff and things and Oreo cookies and chocolate liver. Peace.